Let's take it a step further. So reports were swirling that LeBron James pushed the Cavs to trade for Carmelo Anthony. Then James vehemently denied it. And this was before we heard the news of Love even being sidelined. So Love also dealt with back injuries in addition to the left knee and has 3 years left on a $110 million deal. Max.
Yep.
So should LeBron now insist that the Cavs trade for Carmelo Anthony?
No. And I think that would, no, if you're talking about the long-range prospects of the team, that's another story. But we're talking about, as we know, defending your title in June. The answer is no. What they really need, what Kevin Love has brought them this season, he's played very well this season. This is the best I've seen him play since he's been on Cleveland, right?
Okay.
Like, since he went to Cleveland, I haven't seen him play as consistently well as he has this year. They need excellent rebounding out of him. He's done that. They need excellent passing. He's done that on an elite level. And long-range shooting. He's done that. Now, it's not that Carmelo can't rebound, and I've seen him find open teammates in the past when he's been the center of an offense, when he's been playing well and surrounded by shooters, certain seasons. He can rebound, he can do those things, and he can shoot. But he's not a deadly marksman from the outside. He's not a great rebounder. I know he's called a small forward. He's really a hybrid small forward, power forward at this stage in his career. I think actually he's best at the 4, not the 3. And, you know, you talk about his passing, it is what it is. He doesn't do any of the things that Kevin Love does that makes that Cavs machine go. So now he does a lot of other things, but that's a major piece to integrate. Carmelo will wind up the offense. LeBron will conduct the offense largely through Carmelo oftentimes, and that involves integrating a piece that really changes your whole offense in the middle of a season when you're trying to defend your title.
I disagree with you, Max. I think that if you're LeBron James, you have to insist on getting Melo. And here's why. You can't trust the health of Kevin Love. And the reason why you can't trust the health of Kevin Love is because, as I reported on numerous occasions right here on this show, for months, they had been concerned about the health of Kevin Love. Now, LeBron and the Cavs are slick in this regard. LeBron is telling the truth when he says he didn't run upstairs and say, get Melo at all costs, even if it means get rid of Love. He didn't do all of that stuff. That's fair. He's right to get upset with people trying to attach that to him because he's got to be a leader in that locker room. And how can you be a leader if you're going behind people back and saying to get rid of them? That's just something ethically you simply don't do. But having said all of that, you can sit up there and say, these are our weaknesses. This is what needs to happen, because if it doesn't happen, this is the predicament that we're going to find ourselves in. Now, you got some folks out there that believe that LeBron is just, you know, just trying to create a narrative because they're already loaded because they got Kyle Lowry and J.R. Smith is going to come back and Kevin Love is going to come back.
Kyle Korver.
Kyle Korver. I'm probably Kyle. You're right. Kyle Korver. You got to remember something. J.R. Smith's injury was a very freakish kind of injury. You don't know what he's going to be like. Not to mention the fact that he's spotty. He'll show up one game, disappear the next. You don't know that, okay? I like JR, but he is spotty. You look at Kevin Love. As good as I think he is and as fond as I am of Kevin Love, what happened to him in the finals? You've documented that on many occasions where he was absent. And so when you look at it from that perspective, Max, even though you got Kyle Korver, he's a catch-and-shoot guy. LeBron James, 55% of his assists at one point this season was off of catch-and-shoot threes. We get that. But the flip side to it is that Kyle Korver is a huge defensive liability, and Kyle Korver doesn't have ball handling skills. And because you don't have ball handling skills, that's where you prioritize. You got to take into consideration who's going to spell for LeBron, not just when he's on the bench, but also when he's on the court. Melo can actually handle. Melo could actually take the ball off the dribble. And Melo, like Magic Johnson said yesterday, is the one guy that would sit up there and say, it's 5 minutes, it's 4 minutes, it's 3 minutes, it's 2 minutes, even if it's 1 minute. Man, give me the damn ball. Move out the way. I got this. He's made for that. And what have I said to you on many occasions, Max? Who would I pick for the first 46 minutes of any game? It would be LeBron. I said, but the last 2 minutes, there's a few names that I would throw out there.
Kyrie's pretty good in the last 2 minutes, too, by the way.
I agree with that. But what I'm talking about is getting you to that point, meaning LeBron would get Melo to that point. Do we have any doubt that LeBron James is going to make sure you in 99% of your games in the last 3 minutes of a game? Hell yes, he will. And at that moment, you give it to Melo. You can't do that with Love.
I would say
and
this.
That's the problem.
I would say this about that point, because basketball today is almost split into two camps. I mean, there's overlap, but there's the one camp that really likes the idea of the closer.
Right.
When it comes down to it, it's still old school.
I'm all about the
It's always been who's the best player on the court, because in the closing minutes, the best player at crunch time, at least, is going to win you the game. And there's the other camp that says, which is why Kevin Durant went to Golden State, whoever's the open man, if you're playing correctly, is going to take the shot. Furthermore, if you're not so worried about iso ball, maybe it doesn't come down to the last possession. Maybe you're actually more efficient. I would say this. Yes, you need some guys who can handle the ball, who can take you off the dribble. If you don't already have that on your team, a guy like Carmelo or even a guy like Jamal Crawford, although he doesn't post up and stuff, but in those moments, if you have a guy like that coming off the bench, even if he makes you less efficient and all that stuff, he can go get a shot for you when you need it. You got LeBron and Kyrie on this team. You got two guys who can do that.
Yeah, but again, you're looking at it from a micro perspective. You're thinking about them in the NBA Finals in that moment. I'm thinking about what they do to exert themselves leading up to the moment. That's the concern because of the injuries. If everything was in a vacuum and it was all about that moment, you're right. But the problem is that with JR down, with Kevin Love down, with the added minutes that LeBron has had to tack on, along with the added responsibilities, with the fragility from the past of a Kyrie Irving, what you have is all of those situations that lead you to question how ready, not ready because they're going to be ready to perform, but how worn out are they going to be when the moment arrives. So you have to look out for them through the process, and that's where you talk about
health. You talk about health.
Sure.
Carmelo's had a bad knee. Carmelo's older than Kevin Love. But in the recent past, he's older than Kevin Love. He has a huge contract. You got to move money to get Carmelo back. Who's that going to be if not Kevin Love? Tristan Thompson?
That's true.
Then you look at what J.R. Smith brought. I've mentioned what Kevin Love brought, the passing, the rebounding, and the sharpshooting. It's not just shooting from J.R. Smith. It sounds funny to say, but before he got hurt, he had been, for like a season, the best perimeter defender on the team. If I was a Cavs fan, I'd be looking for a perimeter defender who can, ideally to be the same guy who could handle the ball off the bench.
You have a perimeter defender in Iman Shumpert. It's just that he gives you nothing offensively. But defensively, he's that perimeter guy. You usually can't find both. And so what I'm saying to you is this. What this really comes down to is you're trying to win the title now. And then what you can do is you can adjust, because when you have LeBron and Kyrie as cornerstones, you can adjust when you have more time to adjust. But if you're trying to go after the title now, my question to you would be this, Max. Are you putting your money on an injured Kevin Love coming back healthy and ready, or are you going to roll with a Melo? Me, I would sit up there if I were Cleveland. If I were Cleveland and I could trade Kevin Love to New York right now, despite injury, if I could trade him right now for Melo, I would do it.
Okay.
I would do it.
Me too, but that's because I'd be conceding the title this year. I've seen exactly the opposite as you. If you move Kevin Love for Melo, you're saying, okay, we don't have enough time to get this done. But going forward, we have an even better big three than what we had.
And just to crystallize,
potentially,
that's what Max is saying. He wouldn't do it if you're trying to win a title now. I would do it because I'm trying to win it.
So we agree to disagree.
I believe
I'll take a rested Kevin Love, sharpshooting, passing, and crashing the boards.
I believe that Carmelo Anthony right now, instead of Kevin Love, gives the Cavs a better chance to win the title this year.
Let's leave it on that note.